What up, people? Cracked Lemonade back again with the PlayStation Underground Jampack. So, I mentioned previously that there were issues with getting the PlayStation Underground magazine, and I'm going to preface this to say this is my experience with my local Funko Land at the time. This is not indicative of a universal experience or anything like that. I'm not sure if that was a standard or if that was just where I was when I was a kid, right? So, when it came to game magazines, I don't remember seeing a lot of the official US PlayStation magazine or PlayStation Underground magazine at Funko Land, period. I remember seeing Game Informer because since the beginning of time, there basically was a deal with Game Informer with GameStop where you spend something like $12 a year or less. I don't remember the price of a Game Informer subscription, and maybe I can look at an old magazine and get the actual price. But you would spend your money at Funko Land, Babbage's, EB Games, etc. They're all the same. They were all the same store. Like, they even had adverts that had all the names of the stores before they all became GameStop, that you could buy the subscription for Game Informer. You would get 12 issues. You would get some discounts on games. And you would, be able to trade in games. And the idea of GameStop in the late 90s, early 2000s, where you didn't have anywhere you could really sell games after you bought them, that wasn't really common. Like, maybe wherever you were, there was like a specialty shop or like a local shop that accepted videos and then did trade-ins for video games. There were stores like that, but there was like not a specialty video game store where you could fundamentally trade in your old games and buy other games once you traded it in. You can make jokes about the GameStop's trade-in value whenever you want, but in the year 2000, where using eBay wasn't as straightforward as it is now, and paying through eBay was explained to me in the early 2000s, and I don't remember how that process went, so I can't really go through it. But in a situation where you don't have a lot of options in terms of maybe games you want to get rid of and games you want to purchase, GameStop was a good idea. It doesn't make sense as a model now because of the many different ways you can get video games, but that's neither here nor there. And back to the point, I don't remember ever seeing the PlayStation Underground magazine, the Dreamcast magazine, or Xbox magazine at GameStop like that. So when I first got official US PlayStation magazine, I remember getting it from a Rite Aid because the Rite Aid had the magazine section and it had the official US PlayStation magazine. And I thought that was amazing that it came with a demo disc. And when I got into the official US PlayStation magazine, I wasn't getting a subscription to it. I would get it whenever I happened to like go along to a Rite Aid and get one. So right now, I only have two issues from 2001 and 2004. So I don't really know the timeline, but at some point with the official US PlayStation magazine, the PlayStation Underground was still its own entity, but the PlayStation Underground demo discs, the official US PlayStation magazine demo discs became PlayStation Underground demo discs when it came to the PlayStation 2 era. I don't know when they switched over from including PlayStation 1 demos to PlayStation 2 demos, and if that name change was right away. But back to this Jampack. I realized that there was an import game on there, but I read the warning and it said that you basically had to restart your system. So I am gonna save that for last. I play a little bit of this racing game, and I'm gonna preface this by telling you that I'm terrible at it. And I have a rant about 989 Studios that I will save for later when I am playing a specific 989 Studios game. Or, yeah, I don't want to get into that now. But this is Rallycross 2. This is some kind of racing game. And I'm not familiar with this series. I never played it. I had Gran Turismo and Ridge Racer Type 4 for the PlayStation 1. I wasn't really heavy into the racing genre. So I don't have a lot of expertise in like talking about it fundamentally. And yeah, so when I started getting PlayStation Underground Jam Packs, that had to be like the year 2000 or 2001. And I don't know if those included adverts for the magazine. I don't really even know how long the PlayStation Underground magazine went for in and of itself, because I do find it interesting that there was the official US PlayStation magazine, which came with demo discs, and an entirely CD based magazine in the PlayStation Underground running in tandem. So I'm not entirely sure of those timelines. It wasn't like my main experience with magazines. My main experience with magazines was mostly Game Informer. I have currently I have 3 issues of Electronic Gaming Monthly, or 2 issues, and an old issue of Tips and Tricks. And most of the issues of these magazines that I have are issues that I had when I was a kid and a teenager. And this is the section of the PlayStation Underground magazine. And I believe this is in the disc for the PlayStation Underground PlayStation official US PlayStation magazine. God, keeping those two separate is hard. I'm sorry. But you can download um you can download files for different games to your memory card, whatever games that they included for the month. I downloaded Tekken 3 because I have Tekken 3, and I also have multiple memory cards, so I just used the blank one. And this is kind of where the demo disc winds down. And these are video files included where they strap the camera to a dog and he's going around listening to Naughty Dog developers talk about Crash Bandicoot 3. And that's really all this short video is. It's kind of adorable in the fact that they just really put this camera on this dog and he's just going around looking at the different game developers work on Crash Bandicoot 3. Also the zoom in. I'm not sure if this camera was being like remotely controlled. That was kind of interesting. And then the guy who put the camera on the dog takes the camera back from the dog. And that's the end of this video. So basically, this is issue 2.4 of the PlayStation Underground magazine. That's what this is. Advertising for it would be interesting to find issues of the PlayStation Underground this magazine and experience that for the first time. And that is something I am completely considering. And this is also another promo video for Spyro the Dragon, where they talk a little bit about the development and the making of. And it's very cool that for a demo disc, they included all this content because in 1998, you really had no other way of getting this type of content or this type of information. And it wasn't a tool, it wasn't like something that you could instantly get. You did have to pay for this. And the PlayStation Underground magazine was $30 a year. So at the end of the day, you are paying for this experience, but this is no different from any other magazine at the time, except this is entirely unique, and I didn't know that something like this existed, or that's what the PlayStation Underground jam packs were even used for. I just remember playing them for the games and not the other content. I don't even think that I was interested in like the video demos or anything else except playable demos on these things when I was younger. I can't even tell you that I would have been interested in like this kind of developer type stuff as a kid. I just wanted to play the games. I just wanted to play the demos. And being a kid where I wasn't always getting the new games, and a lot of my original PlayStation 1 library was going to Funko-Land, GameStop, whatever, and buying PlayStation 1 games for like $1 to $5. not knowing what it is and just playing it. Like, I remember getting the first Legacy of Kane game, Blood Omen, and I got that after I played Soul Reaver, so I was expecting something like Soul Reaver, and I didn't get that. And the Konami game Broken Helix, which I would love to get again, but it went up to price of like $20, and I'm not sure if that is worth playing because I don't remember it being good. So yeah, but it was an experience, and this really brought back memories when I played it. And one thing I do want to mention is that the demo for Metal Gear Solid 1 is in here. And you get to play Metal Gear Solid 1 up until you try to climb the ladder and save the DARPA chief. Like, I think the demo ends when you climb the ladder to go into the vent. Like, you don't see Meryl in the demo or anything like that. But you climb up the ladder and it ends with the game over sound, and it does like a cutscene hyping you up for Metal Gear Solid. There really wasn't much different from the main game Metal Gear Solid, except for the opening demo when they're doing the opening cutscene and you see the cast names. David Hayter's name is changed to a pseudonym. And back at that time, voice acting for video games, a lot of people considered it a bad thing, so a lot of people would act under pseudonyms. But I have Metal Gear Solid Integral. I don't have the first edition of the Japanese Metal Gear Solid, and I don't know when that change from his pseudonym to David Hayter actually took effect, because the audio is the same. Like, it is David Hayter from my ears, um, as Snake in the demo, and they're the cutscenes aren't different or anything. So I'll be honest and say, like, I don't know too much about that, but that was the only difference I noticed when I played that demo. And it's Metal Gear Solid, so it's kind of long. So if I do play it, it would probably have to be a standalone video. And now I am going to end this video with the import Irakai bow. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry. I don't know. And this is very interesting to me as well, because the screen switches over. It's all in Japanese. So I don't know what to select. I don't really know what any of this says. But we get to play a little bit here. And when this video ends, that's where the demo ends, because I selected something and the screen was blank for a little bit, so I just turned the console off. So yeah, it just has multiple selections. It only wants you to select special preview, because I'm guessing the the first thing is like the regular game, I guess. But basically, this game is like the game Operation, except you're moving it down a tunnel or whatever. You're moving it down this maze. It's a maze game. And you cannot touch the sides or the thing that you're controlling blows up. And it looks like there's a time limit. I did not notice the time limit when I was first playing this at all. So that is interesting. I completely did not notice the time limit when I first played this. So yeah, there's also a timer present. And you really just move it along this path. And that's it. Something happens. I press some buttons. So I will catch you guys later. Thank you for checking this out. And I will probably talk more about PlayStation demo discs later because I currently find it interesting. So yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace.